Hey guys, what's up? It's Caitlin here, and today I'm doing a very highly requested Criminal Minds video because I would credit whoever gave me this recommendation, except so many people gave me this recommendation that I'm just gonna go for it. So today I am going to be talking about Criminal Minds ships and my opinions on them and how I feel about them. And there can definitely be more of these videos because I can only talk about a few because there are so freaking many, but I will talk about a few today. Last time I posted a video, guys, I'm pretty sure I told you that it was like really cold and the wind was insane. Well, guess what? It's snowing today. When is it not snowing here? Also, this mug is speaking to you guys because you guys are my gorgeous subscribers. Alright, so today we are going to talk about Criminal Minds ships, and I have a list of the ones that I'm going to talk about today. If you guys end up wanting another one of these videos, let me know because I'm only going to be able to talk about a few ships and I would love to get into some more in a future video, so let me know if you want me to do that. If you're new to my channel, please be sure to go subscribe down below because, you know, I'm going to put out more of these Criminal Minds-esque videos coming up very shortly. Let's get right into this. Now, the first ship that I'm going to address, Reid and JJ. So Reid and JJ is probably the most prevalent of all of the Criminal Minds ships right now because of what happened in the finale of season 14. If you missed it, JJ essentially confessed her love to Reid, but it's still very up in the air on what exactly she meant by it. If you haven't seen Truth or Dare, go watch that right now because mind blown. But my feelings on Reid and JJ are this. I have always loved their friendship since the beginning. I think they have the cutest little friendship, the way that Reid used to have a crush on her in the early seasons and it was so obvious and so cute. And I always loved that. And there were times where I was like, oh, I ship Jeid. But after the last episode, I think they do truly love each other. I just think it's not necessarily in a physically romantic way. And like I said, because I have a whole video on it, I'm gonna stop it there. But if you want to hear more about my opinions on JJ and Reid, you can go click that link in the description where I will put the video. So bouncing off of that ship, the next one I want to talk about is JJ and Will, because I think this is also a very interesting ship to look into. So there are some pretty intense Willifer shippers out there. I know some personally, and they will defend the two of them to the death. So I mean that's true for all of these ships, so I'm ready to get torn apart by people. It's gonna happen because we all have different opinions on these. But here's the thing with Willifer. I've always shipped them. I've always thought that they were, you know, they were cute together and whatever. But I thought the one thing that I don't know that I love about Willifer is the compatibility between the two is it's just not there. I just feel like the chemistry isn't there. To me, Willifer's a little bland. I'm not saying like I want them to divorce or anything, like I'm cool with them being together. I just feel like Will's character is sort of just I feel like he doesn't show any emotion. He's like a very, very flat character that just kind of exists and doesn't really do much. I don't know who you would necessarily put that on, whether you would put that on the actor or the writers or who you would want to put the blame, so to speak, on for that, but I just feel like there's no depth to Will, and JJ is such a complex character that I feel like she should have a more interesting relationship. So the other thing to consider with Willifer is that the whole reason that relationship was even established was simply because AJ got pregnant and they needed to have a reason for that to make sense in the show. So that's why they kind of scrambled to find Will's character. So the relationship, I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying it was a forced relationship that they brought upon JJ's character, and it seemed like it was probably a quick thing that they weren't planning, so they had to fit it in somehow. So I have to wonder if even the writers didn't love what they had to do with her character, and maybe that's why there's just not as much interest in that relationship as there should be, or they would expect there to be. While I'm not a big fan of Will and I find him to be a little bland, I don't believe a lot of the things people say where, like, I've seen a lot of theories where people are like, oh, Will, he's abusive towards JJ, like emotionally or physically or whatever. Like, I don't believe any of that crap. I just think he's a boring dude. And that's not to say, like, I think their wedding is really cute and they have cute moments together and I think they're sweet together, but I just wish JJ had a more complex love interest. But, you know, it is what it is with this one because this one is kind of set in stone and final. That is how I feel about Willifer. I'm sorry if I look really pale today. Like, I have not been feeling well. I think I'm getting sick. It's cold, so like my skin's all dry. Like, it's great, guys. Everything is fantastic, but I probably do look like a pale dead ghost today. Okay, so this ship is one of the, I think, like one of the strongest on the show, and that is Garcia and Morgan. So as we all know, Garcia and Morgan constantly have had had cute, adorable, precious, sweet moments. And there is no denying that those two love each other with every ounce of their being. Now, I think everyone kind of ships them in a sense, but I think that there's definitely a debate on would you want to see them together romantically or not. A lot of people actually do want to see them together romantically. I think a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, like I ship them, I want them to be together. Whereas a lot of other people, including myself, think that they're just like close friends. Even though they both have like a weird physical attraction to each other that's like, they're very flirtatious and whatever, like I don't think that they would be, I'm not saying, it's not that they wouldn't be a good couple because they might. Something about them being in a relationship together wouldn't make sense. I think that their friendship is one that is just so solid and so like, to me, their relationship, I think their relationship is really hard to describe because I think in a lot of ways their relationship could be described as like a sibling relationship. I think it's like a brother-sisterly love. Then again, they have those moments that are like flirtatious, so I don't want to necessarily call it a brother-sisterly kind of thing, but at the same time, like that's almost totally what it is. Now I'm just like sitting here thinking about their relationship because I don't know how to describe it. All I know is at the end of the day, I think that they are really cute together as like best friends who will do anything to protect each other. The way Morgan protects Garcia and the way Garcia is worried about Morgan when he's like out in the field, I love everything about that. It's so precious, like how much they care about each other. I think in general, Morgan, the way he cares about people within the BAU is really precious because he's this big tough guy, but then like you see his emotional side and you're just like, oh my god, I can't handle it. But yeah, that's my feelings on Morcia. Again, with all of these ships, like I want all your opinions in the comments, all of them. I want you to tell me how you feel about every single one of these ships because there are such varying opinions on these things and I would like to know what you guys think about them. So make sure you drop a comment. We are going to continue on the theme of Derek Morgan right now as I bring in the next ship, and that is Reid, aka Morgan and Reid. So Morgan and Reid is one that I personally have never been into because I think their love for each other, totally brothers. 100% I think that they're like brothers. A lot of people do ship Morgan and Reid romantically, but I could never see that. I mean, think about those two people. Think about who those two people are and how they would never mesh together like that. Not to mention that Morgan is very straight. Like we know that. We are very aware of that. Reid, I can see more questioning his sexuality, but Morgan is very straight. One of my favorite scenes is in A Beautiful Disaster where Morgan, he's leaving and he has like his moments with like every member of the team, but his moment with Reid where he tells him it's Hank Spencer Morgan. Guys, that is one of the cutest moments ever, and like I think that kind of also establishes like and defines their brotherly relationship as this just like they've learned so much from each other, just they've spent so much time together and they know each other so well and they just care so deeply about one another. And I think I love seeing their friendship. I don't know if you guys remember back in Revelations when Reid gets kidnapped, Morgan, particularly Morgan's reaction to that whole situation was so intense, and I just think that Shemar Moore did a great job with that episode. The depth of his emotion when like he finds out Reid has been kidnapped and just through the whole episode. I think Shemar Moore in general does a really good job because he plays that tough guy, but he does a really good job of creating depth within his character and showing those really intense emotions as well, and I think those come out a lot around Reid because he's so protective of Reid and definitely sees him like a little brother. So yeah, that's my feelings on Reid. I think that they are adorable together, but not in a romantic sense. The next ship that I'm going to talk about is another one that people are just, excuse me, so passionate about, and that is Emily and JJ. Alright, so this is a ship that I have complex emotions with because I think it's a very complicated one to analyze because in a lot of ways, I can see it. You know, those glances that they share, and I just think it's a very interesting relationship to look at because all of the details of their inner emotions, like people, Jemily shippers, they'll grab those little moments from episodes all over the place where they look at each other a certain way or just the way they give a glance or something like that. That's where they pull all of their support from, is like those little moments, because it's so true that the little moments that JJ and Emily have together, there's so much there to unpack that we don't necessarily get to see. We don't really get those really really in-depth heart-to-hearts between the two of them. We have a few times, but I just feel like there's so much more complexity to their relationship that we haven't been able to explore within the show. One of my favorite moments is, I wish I could remember the context of it. Someone will be able to in the comments. I know you guys will figure this out. There's a moment, and I can picture the shot where it's Emily and JJ sitting next to each other. JJ's going through something. I want to say maybe it's hit run, I don't know. And Emily like puts her hand on JJ's hand, but that is like a really, really like just great Jemily moment. I can't say I particularly ship it. Like I'm not like, oh, I really want them to be together, but at the same time, if it was something that ever happened during the series, I wouldn't be mad about it, because I think there's so much chemistry that could be revealed between the two of them, and there was definitely so much they could have done with that relationship. And in terms of Emily's sexuality, I think that is a very like wide open door. I mean, because either of them could be bisexual, but I think with Emily, a lot of people really do believe that she's bisexual, which I could totally see. I don't really see it one way or another. Like but I could see her being bisexual. So I think that it would have been interesting to explore that relationship, but that also would have been a major commitment for the show to go ahead with that relationship. So I understand why maybe they didn't, or maybe they don't even see that at all. I know a lot of fans out there really love Jemily, and so yeah, I could see it, but I don't necessarily ship it. So the next ship that I want to go into today is my favorite ship of all time on Criminal Minds, guys, and that was Reid and Maeve. I thought Reid and Maeve was one of the most creative and intelligent relationships built on a show because of the way they did it and how clever they were with how they built that relationship. Having Spencer Reid fall in love with somebody's mind before meeting them or knowing what they look like was just so clever and so perfect, because that is just the most Spencer Reid thing ever, because he is someone that would fall in love with someone else's mind, you know? Like, it's the most Spencer Reid thing ever, because to me, Spencer Reid does not seem like a character who desperately needs a physical relationship with someone else, but emotional relationships are really important to him. So that's why I just felt like Reid and Maeve was so perfect. Beth Riescraft did a great job with Maeve's character, and I think the character of Maeve, other than the fact that he fell in love with her mind, I loved her so much. She was sweet and she was kind and she was just this really smart, beautiful woman, and I thought she was amazing. And then why they had to kill her, I'm still not sure. I don't know if they felt like giving Reid a love interest would make people less interested in his character, like a finalized love interest for multiple seasons. I don't know what their thought process was there, because they gave him a perfect relationship and then they took it away. I'm still a little salty about that one, because I just feel like, you know, they torture him so much and it just felt like he deserved that one. Like, he deserved a win there, but you know, they didn't give it to him, and I'm still sad about it. And I just, guys, every time I watch Zugzwang, I sob. That episode was so sad. I like don't even like to watch it at all. Even though I love Reid and Maeve, I don't like Zugzwang, because you know exactly the song Infinity Street. I don't know if you guys listen to songs that are like in the show, but I can't listen to that song because it makes me really freaking sad. But that's my feelings on Reid and Maeve, because I just think that they were the perfect couple and they should have kept them together, but they didn't, and that's that. So those are the ships that I'm gonna talk about today. I think I covered quite a few. I hope you guys liked this video. If you want me to do another one to talk about more ships, because again, there's a plethora. Is that the right word? Plethora. There's a lot of ships out there for Criminal Minds, and I would love to talk more about some of those with you guys. If you have any other recommendations or things you want to see me do, please drop those down in the comments as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!